Oh guys, I'm sorry I've been cheating on you again. Now, I'll be honest, I think sometimes for your own mental health and well-being, you just need to unplug. So I've been down the garage, I've done a bit of tinkering, and I've done it without filming, and I'm sorry. I know you're disappointed in me, and well, what can I say? But I have done things. Chiefly, I've polished the gearbox up, and it's now attached to the engine. Well, temporarily attached. I need some new bolts, because those are, well, a lot of them are a bit too short, to be honest. Here we go, it's attached. Starter motor's also in there temporarily. I say temporarily because I've got to take it back out again, and why? Yes, that's right. Because I need to take the sump off and the bolts go behind the back. And I had to modify the sump slightly. So the little post that was sticking out I've had to grind away. I've tried to keep as much of there as possible because of course it's all part of the structure of the sump, so yeah. And I had to shift this along a bit and it's a bit tight, really tight. And that's because the drive shaft cup is touching the other side. So I had to be a bit careful taking this back out again, I reckon. But anyway, there we go. Got to order up some plugs and bits and pieces to go on the end of there and on the vacuum pipes, and that's probably next on the agenda. And then also figuring out what I'm going to do with brake servo vacuum. I think probably I'll use this puppy, but you need to have the right type of hose for vacuum hose, so I will check the part number. And this is because you need it not to crush basically under vacuum. So we'll see. We'll have a look and see. I'll make sure I've got the right stuff. If not, I've got other options. This one, chiefly. But the little hose hole down the bottom here, which needs to be plugged, is not the same size as the hose that comes off the servo. So I've got to do some work there. But anyway, right, that's where I am. Doing some more things this evening. Well, only a couple of bits, just playing rather than doing anything serious. But some new bits have arrived. Firstly, some rubber bands, exciting, for the vacuum ports on the inlet. Ta-da! And I was trying to figure out what to do with the vacuum hoses. So at the back here, there's one that went through to the breather, crankcase breather, and the other bits and pieces, and it linked through back to the end so it can be reburnt. I'm going to do something similar, except I'm going to use this head outlet here, the little crankcase breather setup I put in down here. I'm going to use a catch cam, which I'm hoping to mount somewhere at the top here. I'm going to have a look at that in just a moment, and we'll see how that's going to work. You want it to be higher really than the outlets, but I want to use something similar so it can go back round and reburn the gases in the way that it done originally. Just 'cause I think it'll be a bit neater. We'll see if it works or not. Now, I was trying to figure out what to do with the brake booster. There's a port on here, and there was originally a pipe attached there. Now I found this pipe. I've cut the end off with a craft knife, and I've brought some breather hose. Now this stuff is different to normal oil hoses. So a vacuum hose, not breather hose. The breather hoses are the thick jobbers, which I'll come to in just a moment. But these are designed not to collapse under vacuum, as opposed to not expand, which may have been an issue before, but nevertheless, this apparently is the right caper. So I've put this on the end here. It says snug fit, but I am going to put a clamp around the end, probably a fuel clamp. And I've also bought some very fat pipe. Oh, I should probably say whilst I'm down here, the idea behind this is that I'm going to cut this off as short as I can, basically use this as a joiner and attach it to that pipe. So that's a pretty good fit over where we've got that sort of stop there. And again, I'll put a clamp around that to make sure that it fits quite nice and snug. But I don't really want too much of this pipe in the running if I can help it. Just a little bit, probably be to about there. And the other bit stops there, so not a huge amount, but I don't know whether plastic hard pipe is more important for brake boosters. I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments, please do. Down the other end of the garage, if you excuse all the mess with the stuff everywhere, is this pipe. Now this is the breather pipe, which is okay for oil. It's got lots of marks on it, which is really irritating. But yes, you use this stuff, again, it's reinforced, and it's okay for it's massively chunky, but I've checked, it does seem to fit beautifully on the block. So I'm just going to mock some bits up, hopefully, and see how we work with the catch can. Oh, I have bought a new tool. Now this, which is all aluminium and has a nice sharp blade, is for cutting pipe if you've not seen one before. So I got fed up with pipe when I cut it having a crinkly wobbly edge and looking rubbish. This slices through, the pipe goes inside, it does up to 36 mil, It gets a nice edge. Expected these things to be expensive. It was about £4.50, so it's got to be worth it, hasn't it? Get a much nicer edge on things. Another one of those tools that can go in the toolbox. Probably not used all that often, but when I do, I'll be glad of having that. To my eye, up here would be perfect for mounting this thing. It's just ever so slightly higher than where it needs to go. I can get to that port down there. Let's go try and figure out how best to mount this on here. So this is underneath this cover, which I've just rested on there. So you can see there's a bit of space on the back of the core pack mounting bracket. I've basically got to get from here to there, which should be fine. And the cutout is big enough at the top here for the hose, which is good to keep it nice and neat, assuming I can keep everything there. And also from down there to up here. So that should be quite straightforward as well. I've bought, I think, more than enough pipe. I'll have a go and see where we get to. For now then, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can follow us for the latest updates.